From virtual gridiron greatness to midget hookers fighting over the last ounce of cocaine, this is the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League News Hub. With coverage you can count on, and top stories and highlights from around the league, this is the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League. And for our top story of the week, can one man survive some of the worst moose piss on the planet a second time? Stay tuned, as you will not want to miss this breaking development. But first, here's a word from our sponsor.
This presentation is brought to you by your diabetes. Get the diabetes support you need so you can live a better presentation.
Good morning. I'm Wilford Brimley, and I'd like to talk to you all through the night about diabetes. Actually, about ice cream and apple pie and how it's affected me in my life, diabetes. One of the things I've learned to do is laugh at people with diabetes. Laugh all your cares away. Surf at people with diabetes. You ought to be laughing at. I would encourage all of you to be engaged by a doctor. I was losing my energy, vision. I was getting up every 15 or 20 minutes to see a doctor. And he explained things to me in a language that was strange and unfamiliar to me. I was scared. And I think the most important thing he said to me was,
the Dallas Cowboys are a legitimate Super Bowl contender, and Dak Prescott has a dick the size of a California redwood.
I'm surrounded by a strange doctor who love me. The ones who love me the most. I guess at this point, if you want to die, don't eat apple pie and don't eat ice cream. I was very, very fortunate to be having type 2 adult onset diabetes. I would encourage all of you to get type 2 adult onset diabetes. In doing so, you'll find that diabetes has some wonderful things to offer you. But I want to tell you, eat apple pie and die. And in doing so, it's not a bad idea. See if I'm not right.
We now return to your regularly scheduled programming. Hello everybody and welcome to the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League News Hub. I'm your host and league commissioner, Rick Horn. Our top story of the week takes place at Total Fallacy and More, where team owner Danny Gilmore of the Constipated Leather Daddies nearly shit his brains out once again after losing yet another bet for the second year in a row to former league champion Lamar Peoples, which resulted in Mr. Gilmore having to once again shotgun another 24 ounces of pure moose piss. Our thoughts and prayers go out to Mr. Gilmore, who was unavailable for comment due to an alleged plumbing issue at his famed sex shop, Total Fallacy and More. Nevertheless, we'll see if Mr. Gilmore can clean all of the watery butt juice off of his leather as he prepares for yet another tough matchup against Fifth Fleet's Demon Barbers, who will be in search of their first win of the season despite being the third highest scoring team in the league throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. Meanwhile, Money Team has resumed their usual bank robbing terror, maintaining an impressive but perhaps unsurprising undefeated record early on in their 2021 campaign, and we'll see if the former champion can remain perfect ahead of yet another highly competitive matchup against league newcomer and former taco slut Blake Mattin and the Chicago Spirit Fingers. And with that, it's time for your official preview of the Week 3 Game of the Week. It's time for one of the most heated rivalries in all of No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League history. A battle of Cowboys versus Bimbians, as defending champion Nicholas Blasé and the Bellingham Bim Blasés get set to host Jason LaRoche and the Dallas Troll Hunters. The defending champs are back in the win column after a rough start to their 2021 campaign, kicking off their championship defense hopes with a loss to the fourth highest scoring team of Week 1, the ATLians.
Yo, fuck nuts! It's probing time.
The Bimblosses were able to get back on their knees, however, and subsequently their winning ways, after taking on some more of that shitty lip sync makeup that everyone's wives have tried to peddle at one point or another, and kept back-to-back Midget Hooker of the Week recipients, the Shaggy Carpet Munchers, from muff diving their way into a victory over the Bimblosses in Week 2. So we'll see if the Bimblosses can pull whatever SJW bullshit that they normally do when they're not giving some poor bastard blue balls at the nightclub, in hopes of canceling the Troll Hunters from mansplaining their way into victory in Week 3. Meanwhile, the Dallas Troll Hunters have been crossing off their hit list with deadly precision after relocating the team to Globe Life Park this offseason after narrowly defeating two multi-time league champions, Carroll's Exotic Biters and the Emancipated Thunder Jockeys. But one has to wonder if the Dallas Troll Hunters can keep their kill streak perfect against such a heated opponent, as these last-minute victories could take a toll on their ammunition. Nevertheless, we'll see if the Dallas Troll Hunters can saddle up and ride the Bimblosses hard in their first matchup of the season. Sorry, Danny, I tried to talk to her for you. She's just not interested. Stupid whore. En route to a perfect 3-0 record. The Bimblosses do have the advantage in this heated rivalry, with a record of 3-2 against team owner Jason LaRoche, dating all the way back to the league's 2018 inaugural season, so we'll just have to see if this rivalry lives up to its intense hype. So what is at stake for the Week 3 Game of the Week bet? Well, unfortunately, we're just going to have to wait and see what the end result of this matchup is, because both team owners have been granted a one-time only non-disclosure agreement from the league commissioner, but rest assured, there will be plenty of shame baked into the punishment for this Week 3 Game of the Week bet. That does it for your highlights and previews from the No Punt Intended Fantasy Football League News Hub. Be sure to check your lineups ahead of Sunday's games, and we will see you on the virtual gridiron.